Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. I'm Peter, that is Tim, with a very new haircut. Look at him, he's all
Mhm.
had a fight with a lawnmower. Look at him. We work our way through Tales from the Crypt on this show. This is going to be season 4, episode 9. I really had to think about that number there. It's called King of the Road, so full spoilers for the episode as per usual. This one stars Brad Pitt, which is probably its notable claim to fame. It's also directed by Tom Holland, who of course is the director of the first Child's Play and Fright Night. So you got some names in there that are recognisable. And what is it about? This is basically the prequel story to Fast and the Furious. It's about drag racing, and Brad Pitt's this hotshot drag racer who's, the best there is right now. And he seeks out this retired drag racer called Iceman, who now is, he's an older man. He's got a fully grown daughter. He's a police officer, but he wants to race the best that there was. So he seeks him out and he starts tormenting him and trying to convince him to race him. He wants him to race him. He wants to beat the best. So the episode is mostly about him trying to goad him into getting into the car and racing him one last time, which may or may not put his daughter in harm's way. So that's kind of what the episode is. So Tim, I always ask the question, what did you think of King of the Road?
So, I apologize to last week's episode for saying that was one of the most stupid, boring, pointless ones there was. This episode absolutely sucked. It was awful. It was so boring, so pointless, and there's no twist or anything at the end. It's just like, oh, that just happened. Like, okay, there's nothing clever about it. I don't know. My guess is that the same way like last week's episode, I bet there was someone behind the scenes that was like, I want to do a western. I bet there was someone this episode that was like, I want to do a racing one, without ever trying to come up with any type of clever story or anything. And again, it sucks because you get, maybe he wasn't as big at the time, but arguably like one of the biggest movie stars now, and he's just in this completely forgettable, dull episode.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I think he was known by this point. What was it? Yeah, this would have been, what, 93? No, 92. Oh, so yeah, I think he'd just been in Thelma and Louise. He was just kind of starting to be big, but yeah, I don't hate this as much as you do. Jesus, I'm not coming into this with that much. I wouldn't even say I disliked it. I wouldn't say I loved it either. Like I thought it was, I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine.
I mean,
The
for a Tales from the Crypt episode, I don't think like there needs to be some type of, hook to it, and I don't think there was. It was very surfacey. Like there's
I
never
mean,
anything
yeah,
more sinister going on or anything like that.
it's fair that as a Tales from the Crypt episode, it kind of is missing kind of that layer of macabre or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's like it doesn't have to have a surprise ending or anything, but at least have something, I don't know, maybe a little more menacing to it, or I don't know. Like I never really felt like, obviously, drag racing and driving fast and everything is dangerous, but it's never like, it's not the same as like there was like a stalker or a serial killer that taunting their victims or anything like.
no,
uh,
I get you. I don't.
Also, just my personal preferences. I've never been a fan of like cars, or like I don't really care for
Well,
like driving movies or anything like that.
I'm not particularly into cars either. That said, there's several movies that I like that have a lot of good driving in them, and if there's a good
Sure, yeah,
race, I can enjoy a good
yeah, you can
car chase.
appreciate it. Yeah.
But no, you went on a bit of a tirade against this one. I don't feel anywhere nearly as strongly as that. I actually thought it was okay. Uh, I mean, is it the best Tales episode ever? Absolutely not. So look at him. Look at him holding back. He's or not
Well,
holding
like,
back, as the
what
case
did
may
what
be.
did you like about it? What did you think was good?
I thought it was an okay story. I thought the cast were pretty decent. I mean, it was very obvious kind of where it was going. As soon as Brad Pitt's character spots his daughter, it's like, okay, right, he's going to start dating the daughter to wind him up, and that's going to bring them together, and eventually kidnaps the daughter, of course, which is what finally puts them over the edge. But honestly, the whole story of like the old one coming out of retirement and like making the choice to come back, that is a sort of archetype. That is a storytelling trope is something that I always kind of enjoy. Because sometimes there's tropes where you just hate them no matter what, and then there's sometimes where they have to really screw them up for you not to get a kick out of it. And there's something about the old one coming out of retirement, like making the choice to get back in the car and do what he does best. That
Yeah.
I enjoy, and I think the acting from the two leads, from Pitt and Raymond J. Barry, who plays Iceman, who's now a police officer. I think they're both pretty good. I do think his daughter is kind of the victim of the you're just the plot device. You're just the damsel in distress. That's all you are, basically. So it suffers from that, certainly. It's very a macho focused episode, but that's kind of the entire premise of it. Is that it's
I don't think that would.
I was gonna say that's the whole thing. Is this Brad Pitt's character Billy? The entire point of the episode is that he wants to measure his cock against this old guy. It's all about ego. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think it necessarily is a bad story. Like, again, I could see this, easily being a movie. Really like flesh out the characters and have a lot of longer, more involved race scenes. I could totally see that, and there's a good chance I could enjoy it. But again, this is not Tales from the Crypt. Like, to me, like it feels so misplaced for what I think this series should be. So that's probably where a lot of the hate's coming from.
I can't argue with that too much. It's kind of like that war episode at the end of last season, where it was a pretty decent story, but it just didn't feel like Tales from the Crypt. That's probably true of this one as well. But I thought it was okay. I think when he does make the choice and he sets down the gauntlet. Okay, we're going to race at this time, midnight tomorrow. And this song kind of kicks in about getting back on the road, and he goes to see his old buddy and gets his old fast car out of storage, and I don't know. I thought it was a really easy watch. I wouldn't call this one boring at all. I thought it moved at a nice pace. I thought it kept introducing the new ideas as it was going at a good rate. It was clear where it was going, maybe except how exactly it was going to end, which was basically he made sure that there was, because maybe Iceman knew that he wasn't as good as he used to be, and he knew that he wouldn't win, so he set up a sort of trap for young Billy, where he had the big sort of tractor in the road, and he was sort of convinced that Billy would keep looking at him to gloat and be like, "Hey, I'm better than you," which led to his demise, because he drove into this big thing, and then his car burns and explodes.
So yeah, the ending, it actually comes at you like a brick wall. I felt like a little out of nowhere. It makes sense, but it just seems to end so fast. And then I was like, oh, that's it. Again, didn't really seem like it was that much of a clever twist or anything. It's just and then he smashes himself into a construction equipment or whatever and dies. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. I don't think it's supposed to be a clever twist. It's just kind of a natural ending to it. I think the reason why I was so maybe into it's maybe not the right phrase, but I definitely wasn't angry at it. I was definitely. It moves with a good pace. It keeps doing things. I would say this is a much better episode than last week's. I even think you started off by apologising to last week's episode for being harsh. I'm like, no, this is way better than last week's, because this one actually did things. This one actually had characters and actually it gave you a reason to care. His daughter's in trouble, so he has to try and save her. Arguably you could say it doesn't work, and that's fair. If you don't think it works, you don't think it works. But at least it's trying to do something like that. It's trying to make you care and give it stakes, and there is it has suitable build up. There's build up to what happens. Whether it works or it doesn't, there is that there, which is what I don't think last episode had at all. So, but
I think it'd be interesting if once we're done all the episodes, if we do a wrap up episode where we do our 10 favorite and least favorite.
Oh, of course episodes. We are. I think I always plan to do a top 10 at the end of this.
Oh, cool.
And look at Tim's top 10 and laugh at it because it's laughable.
Well, I'll tell you, this one ain't gonna do so hot. I'll let you know that right now.
Yeah, maybe in the top 50.
Sure. Out of, was it 92 episodes or something?
Something like that, yeah. There's been
Well,
some stinkers.
yeah, there's I'm sure once we go back there, are definitely gonna be less favorable ones. But yeah, I don't know. I was bored. The acting is good. I'll give them that. And I don't know. Maybe if I was like, not watching this at 1 in the morning, getting excited because like, ooh, about to see some horror, show or something. Like
Oh man, now I'm
maybe if
picturing
I didn't
Tim.
have that.
I'm just picturing you every time you sit down to watch Tales from the Crypt or a horror movie. You just think, oh, horror time. Oh, it's gonna
Yeah.
be so fun and exciting. Oh, horror. I'm gonna be
I could get
scared.
excited.
Oh. And then you're like, what? This is a Fast and the Furious episode? What?
Yeah. What the?
Dear. That said, I think this is way better than the first Fast and the Furious, or the second for that matter.
I still haven't seen any of the Fast and the Furious movies. I want to, but
I haven't seen all of them, but
yeah,
I really hate the first one. I think the first one is like it still amazes me that franchise became what it's become, where it's
yeah.
doing $1 billion grosses for its movies, and it's like what? How did that happen? That first one was terrible.
Yeah. The thing, the thing that sucks is, I feel like it's hard to watch them. Like they're not. Like, I don't think they're streaming anywhere. I mean, I've looked before. I can't find them streaming, and I don't want to buy like, 7 or 8 movies if I don't even know if I'm gonna like them, and I don't really have any friends that have them I can borrow from.
I think they just assume that since they're so successful that people are just going to buy them because
Yeah,
they're that big. So it's that kind of arrogance. Or you're just kind of unlucky and you just don't happen to have that one streaming service that they've got an exclusive
that's true
deal
too.
with.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't checked all like 62 that
Yeah.
are available yet.
Yeah, you've
So
got Netflix and Amazon, but sorry, they're exclusive to Hulu for now.
yeah,
Or, you've got Hulu and Netflix, but sorry, they're exclusive to
it's
Epics
like
or whatever.
Cinemax East or something like. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is a okay. I mean, I think it's not particularly memorable, but I think it's. I'm not angry at the 20-something minutes that I spent watching it. It's like completely, in terms of quality, it's completely inoffensive. I think that's my stance on this episode.
Yeah.
I was not expecting the angry tirade that Tim hit me with when I started this video. I really was not expecting that.
I don't know, I'm sure somewhere Tom Holland is dreaming of the epic race movie he will one day make. But
Well, the sad thing is, though, is his 2 most notable movies were before this, so this is actually kind of as his career's winding down, and he's just doing a Tales from the Crypt episode. Because I don't think he's done anything.
not really. I checked his IMDb the other day because I remember he did Child's Play, but I forgot what else it was he had done. So I was like, oh, Fright Night, but yeah, I don't think I saw much like else on there that I recognized.
He's apparently got a movie that's out this year called Rock Paper Dead.
Okay, I'm
But
sure we'll be doing that.
Before that, the last time he did a feature film, because he's done some TV episodes, but the
Yeah.
last time he did a feture film was in 1996,
Ooh.
called Thinner. So he went 21 years without doing a movie.
Yeah.
Never saw it myself.
It's it's. I'll tell you this. It's not great.
That said, it's not even like he did a lot of movies even back at this time period. After Child's Play, he was doing TV shows until 1993 he did The Temp, then in 96 he did The Thinner, and then that was it. Like, it's just, it's quite a sporadic career he's got there.
Clearly, he's a man of discernible taste, just waiting for that perfect project to come along.
He actually has way more acting credits in the last 10 years than he does directing credits.
Okay.
Interesting. Anyway, the point of this video was not to...
Didn't he play Spider-Man?
Very, very good. Different Tom Holland, Tim. Different Tom Holland. Given that Spider-Man's, like 16, the actor?
Yeah.
Something like that. So, no. So, there you go. King of the Road.
Yeah.
Better than last week's episode, despite what Tim says.
I think they occupy the same pretty mediocre stretch of road for me.
Oh, look at you. I just knew you were going to the road. You were going to the road pun. You was like, oh, I'm going to use a road line to wrap this up. All right.
Drive right past it and hopefully on to a better episode next week.
That's King of the Road. Do you know what I will say I liked about this one, though, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? I like that the one who was the villain did get his comeuppance, but the rest of the characters who are more like the other character's a hero essentially in
Yeah.
this. He's a hero with a sort of darker past, but he sort of redeemed himself and he's like a good person now. I like that he does actually get to win. There's no like, oh no, your daughter dies anyway kind of ending. It's just no, you actually get to save your daughter. You get the win. Everyone goes home happy. Because I feel like most Tales episodes we end with. And don't get me wrong, we're quite dark bastards, so we enjoy the sinister kind of haha everyone gets killed at the end kind of stories.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of like that the hero did actually achieve what he wanted to achieve, and maybe that's part of what makes it boring for you. But still, it's happened so little on Tales from the Crypt that it actually kind of stood out as no, hero won. That's nice.
Yeah, we'll give them one, I guess.
Yeah, because usually it's just the villains lose, but there'll be no hero to win. It'll just be the main character's the asshole and he loses, and that's
Yeah.
that's the episode. But so I'll give it that at the very least. But there you go, that's King of the Road. So let us know what you think of this episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/milefuzztv. You can do that over there. You can get these Tales from the Crypt reviews 1 week early if you do. But otherwise, that is us. So thanks once again for watching. Keep watching Scary TV, and we'll see you next time.